Year 6 of Locker Room Sports Talk with Big Matt and Diamond Dean. Yes, sir. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Locker Room Sports Talk. I'm your host, Big Matt. The co-host with the most is, I think he's out on the yacht somewhere, probably tanning his toes right now. The Diamond Dean. He'll probably be back in the house with me. Might be over here tomorrow night or Thursday, and we'll start putting up some more of this stuff with ACC Media Days. We got plenty to talk about. There's still yakking going on about Coach Saban maybe going to be back in the coaching. I think it's all fool's gold. We're going to talk about Coach Heupel had a few words today. Coach Freeze likes the confidence, and he's also going to try to explain how he likes this team, and it's just some coach talk to me that he don't have a lot of depth. And on the last part of the subjects, we're going to have to bring in the expert, the limousine riding, airplane flying, wheeling dealing, son of a gun. Woo! Northwest Georgia Scoreboard Show finest. Find him on Twitter at B. Burge for all of your Georgia high school football needs, from who led the team in rushing to who had the longest punt. They have players of the year from all kind of great players that's played all around the place. Do a great job over there. Sent him and Lawrence on the other night. And, of course, Kirby in the opening title. Watching Kirby talk, and I watched him pretty close talk today, he's the new gatekeeper. You can tell that he's a Saban guy, and that's not a knock on him. And I don't think no Georgia fan takes it that way. It's just saying that there's a certain way to do things, and he worked there for almost been with Nick for 10 years or so, and he's not going to pull any punches or not always say something nice. And I kind of liked how he carried himself today, that Georgia's supposed to be the brand of football that's going to carry the league. That's kind of what we've expected. So you're going to come to Georgia, you're going to get coached hard. That's the kids that we're looking for, Birds. That's what he said. And in modern times, it is hard, but I like the point that he added. He has a 54% rate of younger players this year, but he has enough older players that can hold them accountable. I like that. We all know about player-led teams. Birds, jump in and tell me what you're thinking about what Kirby said today.
Yeah, a few of the bullet points that stood out to me when I listened to what Kirby said today was he kept going back to fire, passion, and energy. Yep. He's always had some kind of theme. It seems like every year, keep chopping. He uses that from time to time. Better never rest. I've heard him say that before. This time he's big time on fire, passion, and energy. I did write down the 54% first or second year players. That can be a double-edged sword. It could be new talent coming in ready to play. Could be new talent coming in not ready to play. So, he's looking, and he always says this, he's looking to have people that can help Georgia now. They got to be ready to play big-time college football now. Another big thing that I pulled out of his speaking today, and I'm sure we'll talk about it, he says, we sell relationships over transactions.
I wrote that down too.
Was that a hit? Was he taking a hit at some folks? I think he was.
Well, that was the part of my monologue there. He'll say, he's enough like Nick that he's just going to say it, but not saying he took those characteristics from Nick because Kirby is his own guy, but there are a lot of like in those ways.
Yeah. And obviously everybody knows I'm a Georgia guy. I love it. I love that comment. I love, he just strikes me as a coach that is going to get in your tail, but you just love it because he's there for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, also said, he said, being paid doesn't change, it can't change how you play. And I want kids that want to be coached. I wrote that down too. That feeds into the mindset of Georgia and what we're going to do here. But that also goes to that other piece that I was saying. You got to have player-led teams are always super successful. They just are. In these days, it's going to help a lot because that keeps Kirby from having to just drown guys. Because we've seen the old video. We've all seen it. It's a meme or something where Saban and Muschamp is at LSU, and they are just absolutely freaking going nuts on somebody. You know the one I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking
about, yeah. You can't do that anymore. And to have this other percent, of 46%, you can see it half full or half empty. And he chose to say, how 54% of my players are first or second year players. Well, that means that there's 46% of guys that's been there. So that 46 has got to take control of that 54 and to know that, hey man, you're letting up at the line. You played football, you know what I'm talking about. Trying to keep them to run through the line.
Yeah, I think another big thing that I pulled out of Kirby's team in general, I don't know if you watched any of the player interviews. Quarterback was asked, what do you think about, some of the things that negative that's been talked about, and from like Paul Feinbaum to other guys that are, kind of doubting him. And what do you think about your coach kind of coming to bat for you in the spring on the Feinbaum show? And he says that he loved it. He said he doesn't pay no attention to what other people say, and obviously everybody says that. But I'm not even sure this dude's got social media. I don't know. They say, obviously he drives an old Ford truck or whatever, old truck, and people say he's got a
Gunner Stockton, right?
Yeah, talk about Stockton, yeah. And he just kind of smiled and kind of laughed it off. But I tell you what, is Kirby's middle linebacker definitely takes on Kirby's persona.
Is that right?
No, that's the guy from Texas. What is trying to think? I can't even think of the guy's name. He was there today. CJ Allen. Allen.
Yeah.
Allen was just like, if Kirby was a player, that was CJ Allen. He gave you the most, I don't want to say coach speak, but I mean, it was just like, I'm focused. I'm not here to give anything out. I'm just here to do what we got to do and worry about football. And, that dude just seems like somebody who's just going to take somebody's head off. He just feels like, to me, I mean, he's a thick guy. He can fly. I think he's going to have a great season. I can't wait to see him on the field.
Yeah, I agree. Now, we broke Georgia down last week. You can find the video there here on our YouTube channel. And while you're hanging around over here, hit the thumbs up, on YouTube or Facebook. We'd appreciate it. And if you want to join us every Sunday at 6 live here, Birds jumps on with us sometimes through the season. Hit the subscribe button too, and it'll just let you know, hey, they're going live. You can count on us being live Sundays at 6. It's been show number 278, and we just completed the other day, plus a lot of probably 200 other extra shows we do on the side. We love covering college football and our local stuff too for high school. So if you want to be part of that community, jump in here with us. And nobody has wrong opinions. Now I wanted to ask you about strain. Kirby said his growth, talking about the comment that Sankey had the other day to open, that there's the college football is not broken, but there's a strain to it. Kirby said some of the lines of strain is growth, and the SEC college ball is not broken. That it's just part of when things grow. and I'll add this to it. When things grow, when you have kids and they have pains in their knees, and stuff. I know mine did when he was growing. They have knee pains or elbow pains and stuff because you're growing. So I just see it as growth and them trying to change and be part of what's going on. And the SEC has slipped, Birds. 2 years now, the Big Ten's took it home. Jeff Anderson's Ohio State, we picked them 2 years in a row, and we finally got it right. I think Sankey's doing a good job. What'd you kind of take from his comment of that, and what do you think about Sankey and what he's doing now?
Yeah, I've always been a fan of Sankey. I think he's a very well-spoken guy. Of course, he knows where the power is. He's a power broker in the sport. It's because of the people behind him. It's because of the teams that they've put out there, and I really think that when it comes to like the playoff and his stance on all that, I don't think that he really cares if it's 12 or 16 or I think he knows that he's going to have teams as long as he can have teams vying for it. That it doesn't really matter what it is. I think it's been more the Big Ten, if it's my understanding. It's been more the Big Ten that's pushing the more automatic qualifiers. Like 4 for the Big Ten, 4 for the SEC, and then I want to say it was like 2 for some of the other conferences. But anyway, it sounds like to me if they can't all get on the same page that we might be staying with the 12 for a little longer. I know this is a different thing, but what do you think about that?
Yeah. From listening to the guys talk that I've went through yesterday and today, and hearing Sankey talk, it's because they ask him. I'm gonna try not to bleed too much into this because Heupel talked about it. 9 games in the conference. Sankey pretty much said, tying that in with the playoffs, that hey, look, if until we get the playoff right, he's not thinking about that right now, and I think that's okay. And also to add how his marketing ideas and where Sankey's at, just talking about the job that he's doing, I think he's done a good job with it. He don't pull a lot of punches neither. I think he kind of just says, kind of how it is. And like you said, he knows what they are. He knows what their value is. And even without them winning it the past 2 years, there's, still a big likely chance for, I would say probably at least 3 or 4 SEC teams to be in this playoff. This 12 team that we're going to have for the last year. And then, you were saying about, how we don't know if we're going to go to 16 team yet, and how Heupel talked about that a little, and kind of what Greg said, Sankey, that it feels like, this is just my opinion, it feels like they really want to try to maybe hold on and get this right first before we go to 16. And I'm okay with that because you already know where I'm at on this 12 and 16 stuff anyway. Let's just take the conference champs and let them play each other, have 5, and whoever's won this year, they're going to do it better. Since we're talking about playoffs a little bit, it's not going to be just conference champ period. Clemson was ranked 16, in the poll because they were not good, and they got SMU. So, I mean, they're supposed to beat SMU. SMU played them a good game, but it still didn't. It just didn't feel right last year. And I'm not griping because Bama didn't get in. I didn't think they needed to. They shouldn't have lost that later game. They shouldn't have lost up at Vanderbilt. So they control their own destiny and how they want to do that. But overall, there's going to be strain. There's going to be pain and growth and how things are and how things are moving. And a key word here, and we'll move, and I'll mention Heupel for a minute before I go to Auburn. Transparency is a big word that I've heard a lot. And that's got to be where Sankey's at. It has to be where this is, and the recruiting stuff, and how much money they're allowed, and how much can be turned in, and to a certain percent, and everything over $400 is this, and like $400,000 cap of. Personally, to wrap it up, I guess for me, man, what a tough job they got. Are you kidding me? I mean, we're just now getting GMs in these college teams. So it's going to take some time, man. They're trying to model kind of like the NFL. But something I heard the other day from Zach was from Locked On. Why do we not hear this on the pro level? You don't hear about a guy jumping from the Falcons to the Titans because the Titans offered him more money. That's just unheard of. So,
contract.
Yeah. So that it's going to happen. And the negative side of that is this. I've said this probably with you on the show last year. When they get contracts, Burge, all this free stuff. I remember being at JSU and being in class with some of the football players. They would have on sweats, hoodies, slides, etc., cards to go to the burrito wrap place in the square out there, or we had a wing stop out back and had a protein like shake place. They had a card to get all that stuff, and they could just go get clothes and put this stuff on their card or whatever. That's going to be over. And they could, I mean, we're talking about big contracts to how plane prices are going to work to load players. They're all going to be responsible for tickets. They're going to be, do you think they're going to be responsible enough to take care of their plane ticket when Georgia's going to, fly out to, play A&M? Probably not. So it's going to be a huge difference. And that, I think, is the difference to answer my own question that Zach brought up about why the NFL don't have that thing. One, they've been doing it longer. They have real GMs that handle all this stuff. And two, I think they probably have more legitimate handlers of their monies, maybe a little more honest people or something. Because when you get in high school and these NIL offers and that type of stuff that Greg's talking about and that Kirby touched on about strain is growth, it's somebody's uncle or mama, to try to help a 17, 18-year-old young man that don't have money. It's hard to do when all of a sudden you just have money. I think that's the difference between the NFL and the colleges. It's just how it's handled and the experience of the people handling it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think that's just what it is. But congrats to Kirby, though, on his anniversary. He brought that up. And his golf game, playing with Sankey and his driving skills, he's won 100. He's 105-19. He's 847% win at Georgia. So, congrats to him winning over 100 games. His 10th season starting at Georgia. And, we talked about the other day, we're not going to hash on that. Sure, as a fan and as a watcher of the game, there is some concerns, but those guys do have a lot of snaps on the O-line. I want to see Georgia run the football. Now, I know that's what you're looking for too.
It's just going to make everything else easier. You got not a rookie quarterback, but one with little experience. It's going to make it easier on him if you can run the ball, play action, have more open receivers. I mean, it's just all around. It'll be better for everybody. You'll run some clock down. You'll keep the defense off the field. I mean, everybody wants to run the ball. I don't know why. It seemed like the last 3 years it's just been lackluster at a lot of places, really. You just haven't seen it. Everybody's throwing the ball all over.
Do you think it's just where we're at in college football because it's where we're at in high school and that's kind of what they get? And maybe that's because what they're looking for in the NFL is all just kind of tied together.
Well, you and I both know, the shelf life for an NFL running back is nothing anymore. I mean, you're a few years and gone. I mean, the quarterback can play until they're into their 40s, but a running back is done at 28, 30.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There are some except, Henry's had a great career, and he'll be probably hanging up soon. No, Julio Jones
He's a freak, though.
He's retiring, right? And those are unicorns. So you can't compare the everyday average. We'll use like Cornejo, over here at Cherokee County. Great tailback, set school records and done those things. He's, playing at college right now. But to go on after college and play pro for, 10 years, that would be unlikely, it's hard, man. It's a tough league. Athletes they have agents, Jeff. Yeah, they do. They have, and that's the thing, I was talking about uncles and mamas. They're kind of the brokers. I mean, when somebody goes in and sits down in the room to meet, that's, kind of the thing that those things come up in conversation, man. They want to know, what kind of NIL offers. And the thing that I don't like to hear, and I'm just going to say what it is, you're buying these kids to come to school because you have, Georgia has a foundation, Alabama has one. They all have, foundations that people, Coach Kelly at LSU talked about yesterday. Their fans had give up to $3.5 million through these incentives to help do those type things. But me and you did a whole spiel on when NIL was coming into high school and how they're going to work and how you have to pay taxes and the kids can't wear any apparel from the schools. And I always use Bryce Young because he was the big Dr. Pepper guy. He wore a Dr. Pepper jersey. He never wore Alabama stuff. And it's just kind of frustrating to know that you're just going to buy a player instead of – it's supposed to be they're getting paid for their name, their image, and likeness. So, if you're going to be used on a game, they get they all of them got a couple $100 kickback and whatnot, but it's not supposed to have to do anything with the school, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be separate. Still very interesting to see how the new things are going to change the game. I mean, I don't know. To me, some sports are going to end up with less money in the end.
Yeah, I think you're right. Brokers manage their money and agents manage the contracts. Good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. So overall, Kirby said the right things, and just reedify that. He is the guy. Kirby's going to be – he was – as soon as Nick retired, we all kind of assumed that. And I know they didn't win it last year, and that's like, well, he let us down. He's not Nick. Well, Nick didn't win it every year. I mean, come on, okay? And is Georgia going to have some younger guys this year? Do I think they're going to win it? Yes, they're going to be some younger. And no, I don't think they're going to win it. But he's growing and changing with how things are because Kirby – not that all the old coaches are not old school, but he is, man, and you can tell he don't like it. He likes to be able to go out there and coach hard and have kids play for him. That's what he said. He wants kids that want to be coached, and all the players will take care of each other. So now, let's see here. I think that as far as the long term for Kirby, do you see Kirby being there as long as he wants to be?
I don't see him letting it fall off below a very high standard at Georgia. And as long as he's winning, games, he'll be there as long as he wants to be.
Yeah, I think so too.
Who would you bring in? Unless something crazy happens, who would you bring in that would be better? I mean, the guy played there. He's exactly what you want. I mean, who's better?
Fire, passion, and energy, birds.
Yeah. I might have to get something on my background that says that.
Yeah, I like it. That's him. That's his personality. They're always trying to stay ahead on strength coaching and ways to keep things modern in the game. They had some kind of big new app and stuff come out as far as their dog app stuff, and I didn't get a lot of details on it, but it's really new, and the guys are liking it, and it keeps them in touch with literally while they're in the weight room of what they're doing. And these little chest things, if you see them, they're like little tank tops, tight fitted tank tops they can wear. So those are more things, and I'm just saying that to say how, Kirby is he's not stuck in the mud to where we're just going to do things by God. It's just going to be fire, passion, and energy. But with those things, that fire, passion, energy comes from a new era of a generation of players, and their fire, their passion, their energy, it has to be met. You have to meet them in the middle, and have those new things and new equipment. I think Kirby will be there, like you said, as long as he wants to be. And winning over 100 games there. Their schedule always lays out pretty good. And I'll say this because it don't matter. I mean, everybody watches football. Without them and Bama, let's just be honest. If you take those two teams out of the SEC, what do you have since 2005?
More Big Ten championships.
Yeah, I mean, Florida made some pushes in there at some point. They won. Auburn did win one. LSU has won, recently, in 21. So it hadn't been real long. And it's always just about one thing. It's about players. And, oh, yes, asking about players. Where did that kid go that I went on there to try to look, and the stream was late. The Abrams kid, where did y'all get him?
I don't think he committed today. I think the Abrams kid is later on. I know the guy from Grayson committed to Texas today.
Okay. So yeah, I've seen that, and it says it's going to be tomorrow at 5 Eastern. Okay, tomorrow. Nick Abrams. He's a linebacker. Yeah, 4-star guy out of. He's the one from up north, ain't he? Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah, he's set to commit.
Yeah.
On 247 page, I believe.
Yeah, I think he'll be in tomorrow. So I'm curious about him. So that's kind of Kirby's stuff, and we got to talk about them. I want to mention Heupel first before we go to Auburn here. Heupel, asked him about what I said earlier, kind of rolls over this 9-game conference. He said rivalry is key, and he just bunted the ball and said, that's kind of Commission's job, and that's not mine. Mine's kind of just to win, football games and keep the program in order and moving forward to win. But as Sankey has said before, in one of those, Nick Saban type things where he just kind of says whatever, our 9-game in-conference games are not like everybody else's. And Heupel reuttered that. Is he right about that, or?
I would say that you could take teams from other conferences and put them through the same schedule, and they wouldn't fare as well as some do. I think there would be a difference. I think a team like Vanderbilt, which, they won some games last year, and they did some positive things, and I like Cart Lee and all that, but
I do, yeah.
Middle of the road, down toward the bottom of the SEC, would be very competitive in the ACC and those places. Even the Big Ten, especially in the middle and the bottom, because, it could be bad in places. Of course, I guess the very bottom of the SEC could be bad as well. I don't know exactly how good Mississippi State's going to be or any of those teams, but I still think that I would hold on to the 8 games. To me, I'd love to see. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was Josh Pate or who come up with the idea. I would love to see some kind of round robin top with, play a couple of from the other divisions every year. I mean, from the other conferences every year, like an ACC game, an SEC game, guaranteed at least one Big Ten school or a Pac-12, three of your non-conference games be versus opposite Power 5 schools. That'd be great. But I don't see that ever happening because, one, the small schools are there to get paid and to help the big schools build their depth and playing time and all that. So, I mean, the way the playoffs going, they expand to 16 or whatnot. I mean, schedule it. I mean, I'll say this: the way they schedule these days, man, they schedule so far ahead. I mean, in 5 years, the team could be fell off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just think. Maybe they're better this year, and I think they will be better. But Alabama scheduled Florida State way back, thinking, man, this is going to be a battle. Florida State has been not good, rotten lately. But they'll be – I think they'll be improved. But I think they got to be improved. But but it's not the same type game as 15 years ago. You just said Alabama opening up at Florida State. You'd been like, oh man, big time.
Yeah. What's the chances? Jeff said, the chances of the Davids of college football do beat the Goliaths. Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I remember the Statue of Liberty play Boise State around Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl in I don't remember 03 or 4, somewhere in there. But that just don't happen as much. And this bargaining tool, was supposed to be to help even things out, and it hasn't. I knew it wouldn't. Mason Rule, good to see you, brother. Hope everybody's doing good. Yes. And the whole idea of, the SEC playing a 9 game, I guess it's tougher. But I mean, let's be honest, if we're going to go in recruiting and start diving and ducking and looking around, where's Arkansas and, Mississippi State? And Ole Miss has done okay this year. South Carolina, so-so. Auburn's at the bottom, the conference. They're 60 or 70th now. Some of these teams ain't got but 6 or 7 players, not grading out very well. So
Arkansas is at 25 right now.
Okay, I do know Florida State has picked up some people. I know they were doing better. They had a pretty big weekend last weekend.
Mississippi State at 36. Vanderbilt at 45. There's a Purdue school sitting there at 47, Iowa at 49, Kentucky at 50. So,
are they at 60 still?
I just clicked load more after the top 50. Auburn. Oh, Lord, 78.
78?
That's what I'm looking at. Now, I am sitting here looking at the 26 recruiting rankings. This is 247, so it could be different than what you look at.
I use going on 3, but either way, they're not doing well. That can break us into next segment here. Again, thank you guys for coming by Locker Room Sports Talk. This is an extra edition. We come live here on some Tuesday nights with SEC Media Days going on. Day 2 wraps up for the day. We talked about Coach Smart, his comments for the day, and backing up Sankey and a little bit of their golf game. Kirby going over 100 wins and starting his 10th season there at Georgia. He's looking for players that he can coach. That's what he's looking for. That's what he wants. And energy and passion, and for him to have fire in the guts of these players that want to be coached. That's what he's looking for. Now, on the other hand, the Auburn Tigers, from what I had gathered here, probably some of the bigger positive notes that I had got from Hugh. He likes the culture better there now. He likes this class that he's dealing with this year. And it seemed like last year when they were getting some of these younger guys in, it always seems to go well, Birds, when you have the guys recruiting for the school and the coaches, GMs don't have to even do a whole lot. Kind of let the brand sell itself, but the players to excite the other ones to come on board. And that, I can't get it through these Auburn fans. They're so out there, man. Some of them just can't. They've been bad so long, they just don't want to admit any more bad. If the players are not excited enough to drag in other players to, entice them to come, that's what they did last year. I don't see any of that going on right now. That's a problem. So him talking about the culture, I can push back and say maybe how you feel about these guys because you've been around them now for 3 years. This is his year. He's got to get it done. I don't see how anybody can say the culture when he's won 11 games in 2 years. They ain't had a winning season in 5 years or so since before COVID and stuff. It's been so bad. Maybe you could say we're trying to breed more positivity into the culture, and I can see us moving that way. Bam. But he also said later on that we may he won't have a good season, of course, but can they do this year after year? That's what I'm looking for. He said, yeah, we're looking to get in the college football playoff and make a run at it. And people are laughing and scoffing, and that's not fair. I'm not a dog we're on freeze. I don't like him, but I'm still not stupid, and I ain't gonna dog him on what that is. That's what he's supposed to say. He's not supposed to be Kelly at Notre Dame at halftime at Bama, and they ask him, well, what do you do to adjust? And I just hope they don't come back out. The best thing I can hope for. That's terrible. And he was joking, and that's whatever. But here's the thing, Birds. Tell me where I'm right or I'm wrong, and if it's just we have a different view of them because we're kind of outside than they do. Is it just Auburn people stuff, or is it everybody else stuff? Even if they can make a, win 8, or I got them winning the Iron Bowl, and that being their 8th win. Let me be upfront about that real clear right now. I got them winning 7 coming in to play Bama, and I think they beat Bama this year and have their 8th win. But Ben, how do they? Anybody can win some battles along the way. Auburn's got to get in this thing and start winning some wars. And I just don't think that the program – I just don't know if they can. I don't think they're just not set up that way. Okay, if they win 8 this year, come in last in the playoffs, and they go round 1, and they go out first round, that's going to be a win for him. Okay, it is. It'll be a win for him. So the question is, how does Auburn be able to pile up enough arms to go and win more of these battles? How do they do that?
Not by being 66 in national recruiting. I know that it's not over with yet, and they might.
But it's July. It's July, though, man. I mean, we're waiting on this.
Well, yeah. Well, I've heard a lot of things. Like early bird gets the worm. You snooze, you lose. Who's flipping to Auburn? And what elite player is flipping to Auburn? What do they have?
That brings me to my last point, my other point here about what he has talked about today. And it's something else that it must just be, it's Auburn people stuff. It's APS. They have BPS, black people stuff, and white people stuff. This is APS. So, and Auburn fans, please comment. And I'm up for any logical answer. But you have to, you literally, do you really understand that what Bird is saying there, who's going to flip? Well, they're saying, well, money, we'll just go write a check. Are you going to be able to make up the difference in the fall off that they're going to have from not making a higher pick in the draft? Having the Georgia G on the helmet and having the scripted A on your uniform, I'm just saying it. That makes a difference. It just does. So if Bama's playing a kid $400K, Auburn's going to have to pay him $1 million to come. Could they do it? I guess, sure. He can sell playing time. Dean brought that up Sunday. Yeah, you can sell playing time. That you have to understand as a fan. If Georgia won 5 games last year, how's Kirby selling his program to go sit down and talk about a better culture and making a run in the playoffs? They're going to look at you and go, what? We do play football. That means we probably keep up with it. What are you talking about? So how do you – I'm not trying to drown on them, but I need some kind of – I just can't believe – it's like some kind of foggy curtain that – obviously, I'm looking through it and I don't see it, and they're just coping with their frustrations by laying it all on. Well, Cohen said that everybody's cheating and we're doing it right. We're doing it God's way. He's a Christian now. God's leading. Okay, I hope God is leading the program. I hope God blesses all the players and the coaches. It's not personal. We're just talking football. So build confidence with the team. He talks about doing a self-evaluation, and he brought up the thing. I watched him on the next round twice, and at the sit-down, he brought it up also that he can't be the Michael Jordan, just grind all the players constantly about coming early to practice because I do, being able to understand the plays because I do. He's got to slow down and figure it out how to be a good teacher. Because being a teacher is not knowing the material. And I had a discussion with one of my son's teachers one time. I said, and I taught this person's class. This teacher had my number, and I would work their class some when I was in college and teaching at school some. This teacher knew the material fantastically. Nobody knew it probably better than this person. But how you teach it. Freeze has got to figure out a way to make it relatable to the players because they terribly struggled last year. And I've just said again, I got to win in 8 games, okay? And they should win their next game. I think they're going to be better. But he's got to figure that out because you talk about building confidence with Jackson Arnold. He said he can't push all of his insight in on one practice. He's got to learn patience. So that's what he's learned by bringing Arnold over, that he seemed confused a lot of times. What do you think about Arnold and his comments on him?
I didn't catch all those comments, but Arnold itself, I think it's possible that even last year that Oklahoma may have moved on a little quick. I don't know. I think he'll be fine. I think Auburn's going to be improved. I think their receiving core is pretty good now. I don't have them winning 8 games. I mean, I don't think it's going to be like that. Maybe 7 games. I don't know. I'm not buying Hugh Freeze as he's looked at as the quarterback whisperer. What has he done with a quarterback? And
20 years.
I don't know.
17, 18 years.
I don't know.
He talked about this, the negativities at defensive line and linebacker. He knows that they're thin there. The DBs are ready. And we talked about this, that, they're one rolled ankle away from being, starting a freshman back there, or even have people having to play different positions because they're going to be thin in that spot. Seeing the things on the field, getting the ball into the right guy at the right time, that was key, he said, for his offense, because he's going to run that RPO. And, he said not to throw it under if there's only one high safety. And everybody watching knows what I'm talking about. You got a one high, you're going to throw the guy on the high because if you're going to have single coverage, you can make a ball to where your player can go get it. And if you don't have Coleman and Simmons and
Singleton.
Singleton.
Yeah.
You're going to have those three guys. They should be able to go get the ball. They should be able to see ball, get ball. So the quarterback has to be able to recognize, and Thorne did not do a good job at it. And how did he not? The young man can't be stupid. So either we're going to find out this year, either Thorne was just a little athletically, mentally challenged, or Freeze is one. It's one of the two, man. It can't be both. It can't be neither. Because if we see Arnold come out, especially game one against Baylor, where they swapped quarterbacks, they did the same thing Tennessee and UCLA did. So literally, pretty much just kind of swapping stuff around, players here and there. There has to be some kind of brick-laying platform foundation for the quarterbacks to be able to get this man. Because if he comes out and he throws 2 picks against Baylor, it's just killing his confidence. I just wasn't crazy about a lot of his play calls, last year. He also said it's time to win and do all the little things right. Absolutely, of course. And having the thought process, Freeze, to admitting, it's like a person that drinks, when they admit they have a problem, that's the number one step to recovery. And Freeze admitting that him and his staff had a huge problem last year to be able to make players understand what they're trying to do. There was a problem. There was a line of communication failure there last year. We seen it at Bama in the Vanderbilt game. Womack is just jumping up and down, screaming to change the play, and then Moore is jumping up and down and screaming, and they got into it because Moore felt like he's changing the play too late, and Womack's saying, I'm trying to get it in, but I got to see how they line up. And I think Womack's doing a good job there, but he's not Kirby Smart. So those kind of things we're going to have to figure out about doing the little things right. Quarterback Arnold is what he said he liked right out of high school. He really bragged on him and how he played out of high school. I think he's going to fit fine to their offense. We're just going through highlighted stuff about Auburn Day 2, SEC Media Day, things I pointed out and picked up in his conversation. I think he fits better there than Thorne did. I think he's going to be fine. And I think that's what's going to get him over that hurdle. It all starts, we know it starts up front. Okay, well, I know that. But your quarterback, he's your chief, he's your general, man. And I think he can run that offense well enough. They're going to throw screens and bubbles you to death. And then he's going to wait. I know how Freeze plays this. I mean, he's not complicated. And then he's going to wait till he finds a one-on-one somewhere. And when you slip and you catch a one-on-one somewhere and you roll that single high over in the middle somewhere, it's just going to be two to Smith type thing. Sorry, Birds, didn't mean to poke you there with that one. But, that's what it's going to be. He's going to bubble screen and run and bubble screen and speed sweep. Revenue sharing, that's a plus and minus. We've already talked about that and how they're handling it. They say they're doing it the right way and everybody else is cheating. They don't understand how other teams can promise them money and they can't. Why can't they promise them money? I don't understand that. I'm not, because third-party deals from, what you was just talking about with how they're going to make money, Bryce Young with Dr. Pepper, that had nothing to do with Alabama. Zero. Nothing. Bryce Young wearing a Dr. Pepper jersey had nothing to do with Alabama. Auburn's got to do better. But I expect them to always be that team right there with Florida and LSU sort of. And they may play for, they're going to get in the playoffs and we get 16-team playoffs and all of them want that, of course, because that'll give them a better shot of getting in. And if you can put kids on TV, then that helps in recruiting kids because kids want to be on TV to make TV deals and say you can see your brand. That's how you brand your your university, you know. And I remember people going to Oregon, Auburn fans, friends of mine, that went out there to the title game, and people from Oregon they talked to, they said, we don't even know, where is Auburn? We don't even know what it is. What is Auburn? So that's the brand that they've got to be able to sell and have do this revenue sharing stuff to keep them on TV. Auburn's got to pick it up. They're just going to have to do better. He bragged a lot about his offensive line. Lou, the center, and their guards are going to be back. They did bring in a big tackle, two tall right tackles and left tackles are going to have some experience. Their backs are going to be on the 200-pound and under mark, so the line's going to have to block to make lanes to try to get them up to the next level. They cannot get tackled or grabbed or snagged at the line. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You just can't. And their wide receiver room, we don't have – I mean, we know we just talked about them. They're going to be fine. Their wide receiver room is good. I don't – that's been all I had for them and what I noticed with Freeze today. And I don't know that they're just going to keep saying what they're saying. All we keep hearing is it's July, like it's only July in Auburn, like it's not July everywhere else. It has to weigh in on the fact that it has to. I asked the guy, I think his name's Chris, does the barn. Does it even cross the thinking process that winning 5 games may have something to do with a decrease in recruiting? Have you thought of that? Just stop saying it's just Cohen saying we're following the rules and everybody else ain't. I don't buy that.
I don't know.
Because they're taking a lot of shots at Georgia. I mean, he's jabbing at Bama too, but I don't think there's not a hatred for DeBoer yet. Between the rivalry between Auburn and Alabama, just it's going to be there no matter who the coaches are. But these punches they're punching up at Georgia. And what they need to know, man, it's not been a good rivalry. The South's oldest rivalry has not been a rivalry in a while. I don't even know. I don't even know when the last time Auburn has beat Georgia at. Probably either there. I don't even know. I've looked it up one time before, and it's been –
the last time they beat us was when we played them twice. We ended up coming back and beating them pretty good in the SEC championship. I think Kerryon Johnson was maybe injured for the SEC. That was I'm trying to think. 2017 at Auburn. Auburn won 40-17. And then in December of that year, Georgia won the SEC 28-7 over Auburn. 2017, yes, sir.
Well, there you have it. Day 2 ACC Media Days, and tomorrow, Burge, we're going to have, well, where did I put it at? Here it is. Tomorrow, we're going to have Alabama. We're going to have Billy the Kid. We're going to have Levy at Mississippi State, and we're going to have Venables at Oklahoma. So tomorrow is going to be another interesting. I wish they'd put Bama, Florida, Auburn, Georgia, Ole Miss, LSU on one day. Then I could just watch it.
Yeah.
The last day, Thursday, I'm not really interested in. I like Elko. What do you think about him before we get off here? Is there any thoughts on Elko?
I thought that A&M would be better last year. I think y'all remember me coming on, and I was kind of an A&M, not really a fan, but I thought kind of stood for them in their corner. And I don't think that they'll be worse than they were. I think when you get in there, sometimes it takes a little bit.
It does. A&M's got the money now. I mean, they got the jack.
Yeah. And I like what Elko brings. You know, he's kind of a hard-nosed guy, and he's not going to put up with, the crap. So we'll see. We'll see how they do. I think their quarterback has a good shot at being pretty good. He can move around in the pocket pretty good too.
Do you think they'll surprise some teams?
Well, when you go back and look at their, this is one of the schools that I hadn't actually looked at their schedule yet. Like y'all been doing on the show, but I think they might surprise some folks. Let's see.
I think we had them. I think we had them at like 8.5. 7.5.
Very interested to see that third game. At Notre Dame, that will be. I think Notre Dame, as much as I hate to say it in the past, Notre Dame has been one of those schools that they've always had ranked up there in the top 10, and they didn't deserve it. I think they're a more legit Notre Dame team. I think they do deserve a better ranking. I don't know where they'll come in. I'm sure it'd probably be top 5. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they played for it last year, and in today's modern football fits them better. It just does. I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
yeah,
it's not the tough, hard-nosed grind game that the guys even played, even in 2016, 2015, 10 years ago. It is different. So, yeah. Is that at A&M or?
No, it's at Touchdown Jesus. So that'll be tough. But I mean, you got Auburn at Kyle Field, Mississippi State at Kyle Field, Florida at Kyle Field. You do have to go to Arkansas, which I think is a very winnable game. At LSU, either 3:30 or 8 o'clock. That could be tough depending on how their season's going. If LSU's having a good year, that could be a real tough game. I
like LSU this year. I think LSU is going to be pretty quality.
They have a well-run. They got a quarterback coming back. They got some pretty good running backs. The defense is going to be multiple. They got some very capable receivers. I think they got some skill that it's going to make it tough for folks. But Missouri, you're hosting South Carolina. You got Sanford, and then you're on the road at Texas last game of the year. I mean, I would not be shocked if they won 9 games, 10 games.
Yeah, their schedule lays out pretty good. I think we had them at 8.5. Does it seem like the SEC is going to be better this year? Are we just going to carnivore each other and just take each other out?
I think you're going to see more of the same. I think you're going to see 1 to 2 lost teams in the SEC championship game. I just think that's the way it's going to be. I think running the table is just going to be hard. There's no easy schedule. I mean, normally you
days are over.
Yeah, you can go back.
It's just not.
Yeah, especially after adding Oklahoma and
Well, you have this idea, that the kids getting to move around a lot, and that's what's changed it. Saban quit because he couldn't handle NIL money. Bullshit, dude. They've been paying players since 1901. Shut up. That don't make sense. It's because kids can't get coached hard, and it's the same thing Kirby's talking about today. You have to have a real good player-led team. So, that idea of being able to run the table, I think Saban did it because, 1, he had a great staff, and 2, once you kind of get
I said 3 deep with 5 stars. I mean,
once you get the ball
roster anymore.
Yeah, once you get the ball rolling, kids will come because they want to win. Kids just wanted to win, okay? And now it's just a little bit different. Some, and it's not fair to all. And this is a talking point for us media people because, it is what it is. Not all the kids get paid. Usually the guys that look like us don't get paid, Birds.
Yeah.
They don't. I mean, I think this is what I heard from Georgia. You ever heard of the film guy?
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Austin.
Yeah, does a lot of stuff there at Georgia, and he covers high school stuff around Atlanta area. He had said that there's a fund there in Atlanta I think he said the linemen, he said they all get at least, $10,000, right up front, something to take care of some, house or food. But all we hear about, is Beck leaving and going to get $684 million to go to Miami.
Well, I can tell you that I'm not going to say who, and I'm not going to say any sources, but I can tell you that, there were between NIL and different things, there was a lineman that had a pretty good lineman that's going to be in the NFL. So that'll give you the quality. 4 or 5-star guy coming out of high school that was making $30,000 a month.
Wow. He was at from Georgia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's what he said. He said, these guys are getting, about $10,000 a month, and there's going to be exceptions. You get a 4-star guy. He's probably, like you said, he may be getting $50 a month. So that, inhibits this idea to be able to, it's just pretty easy, man. Number one, they're just, dude, Bama had, the year like Michie and Waddle and Smith. And my God, man, no wonder Tua was so good. Dude, he had like 5-star receivers that he could just throw it. He could have shot it out of his butt crack. And as long as it went down the field somewhere, one of them freaks are catching the ball.
Yeah,
Smith, catches that ball in the Georgia game. He was a freshman that year. He winds up winning the Heisman. We didn't know that then, but that just tells you where the talent level was. And Georgia played with them every time. There was Bama ain't blowing out teams. They had to win on the last play of the game. And if Bama didn't pick it last year, Zay Brown didn't pick it, Georgia probably would have beat them last year. So that tells you where we're at, the two top teams in the conference. And if those guys are not going undefeated, and it's not going to be Auburn or LSU or Florida. They're not going undefeated. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just not. Those days and times, Todd likes that. Now, you remember Bama won it in 16, 17, then Clemson won it 18. And, there's like 5 years, man, that we just seen Alabama and Clemson freaking play for it. He was sick of it. He was just like, this sucks. This has just become the Bama, the Saban and Sweeney show. It had just kind of got old. Overall, we don't know yet. We're just talking about A&M and Elko. I like Levy, man. Mississippi State. We're just trying to get an idea of the conference, guys. This is what we're kind of talking about before we get off. Is it going to be better? Because look, man, it's been 2 years. Michigan's been doing it. Ohio State, they've been doing it. I mean, they could have beat Georgia a couple of years ago. They had a great chance to do it. So they're knocking, and they've been knocking, and, they won a couple of years ago when Zeke was at Ohio State, not Bama out. So they were due one.
Yeah.
Now, Sark, their schedule's pretty darn tough. They spent a lot of money. They got some dudes. They just got another one today. And everybody's talking about them. I don't see them going under. Their schedule's too hard, man. Is the conference better? Hit the comment section over and say, no, Matt, the conference is going to be about normal. We're going to have about 6 good teams, about 3 mediocre teams, and about 6 more. The last of the 16 just going to be very mid, very average.
Well, you may know after week 1 if Texas is going undefeated or not.
Yeah, week 1 they're playing Ohio State.
and then they have to go to Florida. They have to go to the Swamp.
I just don't see them winning that game.
They got to go to Georgia. I mean,
there's no way. There's just ain't no way.
No way you're going undefeated.
Let's see if I still got that. I may have done took it down. Yeah, there ain't no way that they're going to be able to win all those games.
No.
Which I still had. What did I do with that?
Just a side note on the NIL. I pulled Brock Bowers, $668,000 that he made. He had deals with Meta RX, Morgan & Morgan, No Bull, Zaxby's, and then also money from Oh, actually, the Classic City Collective, which was, a collective there in Athens.
Yes.
He did not accept money from that collective. So that seemed like to me that he felt like he was making enough that, they were trying to pay for other people, I guess.
Yeah. And that's, something, you can, Free said the other day about he likes his wide receiver room. Was not really looking for a receiver, and all the, Bubba Ray, the fans, Auburn, and, Bama fan, Jim Tom, the Auburn fans are griping because he ain't going to get a receiver. And he's like, well, I'm not losing none of these supposedly. But signing days in December, then I got to, try to redo a roster in January. It's kind of backwards. So I got to have money to not only get one, I got to have money to keep the ones that I have. That's something that nobody's talking about, Burge. Kirby's got to keep some money in the collective to keep the ones that he just got this year and last year.
Yeah. And I feel like, especially when it comes to Kirby, if you're coming to him at the end of the season, you're wanting this big raise. I feel like he's probably not obliging. He's probably not saying get to stepping, but saying, hey, if you're not wanting to be here with that fire, passion, and energy, then go on. And I think guys have moved on because of it.
Well, there's one he made a mistake on. I think you'll agree with me. I'd have paid him whatever he wanted. You may know who I'm fixing. Who am I going to say?
Go ahead and say it.
Caleb Downs.
Yeah, well.
You got to, just write the damn check. You got the money. But I know, here's the thing, the Gex guy that comes behind him, I'm going to be like, well, shut up. You're not Caleb Downs. Have you seen him play? My God, he was calling defenses when he was like 8. He's in high football IQ. High football IQ. Those guys you pay because he'll be a coach one day.
Look, I'll say this: the safety now, he's not Caleb Downs, but he'll be a good player, and you'll spend a lot less money because of it. And he wants to be there.
We just talked about it. He's really good. He's on the preseason All-American list.
I think he'll be an NFL guy eventually.
Yeah.
Like KJ Bolden.
Yes, I like him. I followed him out of high school. He was coming to Bama.
Yeah,
I thought he was.
Yeah, I thought he did.
He still, though. He's good.
Yeah, I get it.
But I know he ain't Caleb Downs. Not knock on the kid. He's great. He's going to make a living one day.
Well, I'll tell you something that I noticed the other day. When y'all were talking about Alabama, I was watching the show. What happened to the running back that chose Bama over Georgia? His dad played at Georgia, and then did he go to Michigan? Did I see where he transferred to Michigan?
I don't.
He was a freshman last year at Alabama. From Buford, right? Was he from Buford?
Tell me his name. I can't.
I can't think of his name.
Let me see here. Because you got me curious now. I seem like I remember hearing that story.
When we say his name, you're gonna be like,
oh yeah, crap, I forgot.
Justice Haynes. What happened with that?
Haynes. Yeah, let me see about that. I liked him.
I didn't even know he was off the roster. I thought he was on the roster.
He played 12 games, started 6, had 79 career 400. He only had 450 yards, 7 touchdowns. He also had 17 receptions for 100. Following season, he entered the transfer portal and subsequently transferred to Michigan.
Not saying that Alabama doesn't have good backs, but that was one of the guys I was worried about hurting for a couple of years.
Let's see what the.
I know we hadn't seen the schedules yet, but I would imagine since the Alabama and Georgia played a home and away this first round, I guarantee you Alabama and Georgia don't play the next series. the next 2 years? What do you think?
You talking about in the playoffs or for the SEC?
I'm talking about in the regular season when the new schedule comes out. That's like 2 years at a time, right?
Yes.
So I promise you don't see Alabama, Georgia in the regular season after this year until maybe 2 years from now.
Well, if you follow wrestling, and I don't heavily, but I do. Shout out Roman Reigns. OTC is back last night. I knew he was going to come. It's in Birmingham. That's where The Rock showed up, man. You knew he was coming. And to answer your question with this point from wrestling, usually they don't drop the belt on Raw. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what you're saying. If you watch wrestling, you know what I mean. Those opening games, and Kirby, did you see him? He talked about that today. Kirby's talking about these opening weeks and playing big teams, because in this playoff time, you need to make a good showing to keep you up in the polls, because he didn't say this, but I'm going to read between the lines. Being from the SEC is not just an automatic bid there anymore, because the Saban effect is gone. Like, well, they're Alabama. Just go ahead and put them, Frank. Go ahead, vote. Just vote Alabama. You're a tying vote. Just vote Alabama. Their fans are going to come to the game. They'll probably win the first round. Just put them in. Do it for Nick, man. He's done so much for this game. He has just been – that's over. That's not there anymore. So to reedify your point of, you may not see Bama and Georgia play regular season for next 2 years, because they're holding that for a pay-per-view, quote unquote, to play in a playoff. They don't want Gunther to drop the title to Jey Uso on a Raw. That was kind of strange. I loved it. I love the Usos. But it was like, wow, because going in, I thought, he ain't dropping no belt on Raw. That's not going to happen. And he did. Back when I was a kid, Flair and Steamboat swapped the belt like in Dusty. They swapped the belt around constantly. Well, that's not how money works anymore. The house money says we need Georgia and Bama on a prime time, 7 o'clock Saturday night game.
Oh, man.
3:30, to play right before LSU plays La Tech.
I mean, I love it. The fan in me would like to see that format I was talking about earlier, where you play 8 division games and you play.
It's going to happen.
3 from the conference. That'd be great. I'd love to see it.
It's going to happen. And here's what I talked about last night a little bit. Unfortunately, the old country boy in me, and the guy that watched a kid around in the area somewhere, and I ain't going to say who or where or when, this little guy plays so freaking hard, man. And he made an interception in a game. It was the highlight of his life. I know his family. I know his situation. Some of his family lives up that way towards you. And if we was to combine the county and just call it Cherokee County, period, that little young guy would never get to play football. And I love football so much because I can see how it changes your life, how it teaches you dedication, pride, organization, and a spirit of team. And hear my son tell stories from him using football knowledge from his coaches at work and at college. It's great. And I'm afraid we're going to get away from, and I know, Matt, you're talking about, Alabama playing Chattanooga and it's 55 to nothing at halftime. That's not fun, but damn it is for that damn kid from Chattanooga. It is. That kid from Georgia Southern, they get to line up across from the dudes in Athens. Are you freaking kidding me? He wanted to go to Georgia. He come up his whole life as a Georgia fan, and he just didn't have the grades. ACT scores a little low, and he didn't know the right people. Huh?
You talking about fired up, man?
Yeah, that is what college football is for me. That is because there's one point somebody played their first game, and at some point somebody played their last game. And it's the things that you do in between that leave your little small pinch of legacy that you got to have. And if you just have, like Texas, Ohio State. I mean, this first week, man, I mean, we went through it the other day. I'll put it back up. I had it on the page last week. There's like 6 great games, and it is great for us fans. But, Coach Kelly at LSU said this. He said, we're keeping our money in state. If we got to play the non-con teams, guess who they're playing? Southwest Maple University over there in a small part of Slidell, and they're playing La Tech. They're going to play 2 small schools in Louisiana. I want to see – and Auburn does play South Alabama, don't they? I think they did last year or so. They played Jacksonville before. I want to see Alabama and JSU, but there's some kind of freaking war between –
I mean, Florida opens up LIU.
See? Is there some deal between the old Burgess clan at JSU and the Bryants that they just will not? No, that was at UAB, wasn't it? Yeah. It was Bear's son, and they had some kind of big falling out with the AD at UAB. Dude, UAB should be at Alabama and play it every year. That should be Alabama's 2 open non-con games. They should be playing Jacksonville State and UAB or Troy. Auburn and Alabama need to all mix that up. There's 4 teams there that can mix around. South Alabama, Troy, UAB, JSU. They could all mix all those around. Because that kid at JSU that would have loved to went to Tuscaloosa, like shout out Brody Dalton from 5. He did. By God, he transferred from freaking Troy, and he's at Alabama. He's a tight end. He's second team. And you'll probably see him this year. That's great. That's freaking awesome.
They open up at Central Florida. Jacksonville State does.
Yeah, that's why didn't they open with Alabama?
I hear you.
That's what I would like to see. I would love to see Georgia. Kennesaw State. Are you kidding? One of those guys to get to go to Georgia to show up at that stadium and get stepped on by a hobnail boot. I mean, the history, the legacy, it's what those kids dream about. And now, if you keep playing these big games, bro, that tailback at Kennesaw State, he'll never get to experience, to play in the stadium. That's what I'm afraid. I'm not afraid. It's going to happen. It's gonna happen because it's money, it's marketing, it's TV slots. I talked about it yesterday. If you can sell TV slots, that's what it's all about. It's just selling slots on TV. Because when ESPN says Alabama's playing Slidell, well, what advertisers come to the table for that? Locker Room Sports proudly likes to bring to you our show because we're the only ones that can get on advertising. Northwest Georgia Scoreboard shows a fine show about Northwest Georgia high school football. We'd be the only ones advertising for it. Nobody wants freaking Georgia and Slidell. But you get Bama and Georgia, son, you got freaking Mercedes, you got Foot Locker, you got Firehouse subs, you got Apple iPhones, you got them all. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's just where we're going, man. I know I'm kind of getting philosophical, but it's just that's what's going to happen, and I'm not crazy about it.
It's going away from it, and just looking at Georgia's future schedules and their non-conference opponents. Next year they have Western Kentucky and Georgia Tech and Louisville. In 27, they have Florida State, Louisville. Obviously they get Georgia Tech every year.
Yeah.
So no quote unquote cupcake in 27 at all. In 28, they do play Florida A&M, but they have Florida State again. So moving away from the Austin Peavy and the Chattanoogas. In 29, they're at Clemson. Interesting.
Jeff just said that Ohio State's playing Youngstown State, Cincinnati, and Toledo, and that's great. That's what I want to see. Ohio State, I mean, you can open with a big game and come out there and blow it up, and that gets all the talking heads going. You know, that kind of gets some placement of where we think programs might be. But, you know, some teams just show up and play better game ones. LSU don't.
Yeah, and 27, Ohio State is hosting New Hampshire.
Huh.
New Hampshire.
Well, they'll get $1 million check. You know, the AD at Florida International was buddies. I think he was from Alabama. Him and Mal Moore actually, I think, went to school at Bama. So Mal would play Florida International every year, and they wrote him a check for $250,000 to $350,000, depending on the gate and whatever, because that paid for their band. It helped them put up a scoreboard. It helped them buy new weights for their weight room. And Mal talked about it on the interview years ago. I'll never forget that. And I thought, wow, we kind of get caught up in the, you know, just the big teams, you know, Auburn and Georgia playing and that kind of stuff. But that's why I knew it would never work, because you're talking about, you know, NIL is going to even it. It's not, because La Tech don't have the foundation of the funds or the background or the tradition or the history that LSU has. They don't. Did you know that at LSU, when they started playing night games, they couldn't because they didn't have lights. But when they started to play night games, they didn't want it because they were afraid that the freaking bugs were going to tote them off. I'm serious. True story. I watched the whole thing about it. Those type of things, I'm just laying a precedent for the historical, you know, foundation. La Tech probably didn't even have a changing room. When LSU was getting lights, La Tech they didn't even have a place to change. So NIL is not making it even across the boards. It's not.
No, not happening. Oh,
no.
By the way, I know I brought up the New Hampshire thing in the 27 schedule for Ohio State. The very next week, Alabama comes to Columbus, September 18th.
27.
Alabama. Yep, 27. Yep. That'll be fun.
Well, Jeff is Dave still going to be there? Because Jeff's trying to run him. He's trying to run him off. Jeff hates him.
I mean, he won a title. Khaki Pants won a title, but I don't think we like him. I think he kind of, I don't know. I'm not going to say he backed into it, but he was fortunate.
Well, you know, personally, I mean, it takes. Yeah. What was it Lou Holt said?
Takes a little luck.
Yeah, it does. You got to be able to. You got to be able to do that. Because, I mean, doing all the right things right and crossing all the T's and dotting the I's and showing up to practice and making all sure that all the little things is right, that's great. That's old coach talk. But, you know, sometimes you just got to be lucky. Coach Day, he got a little lucky, you know, sometimes. You're going to be lucky during the season. A lot of teams are always lucky. So,
I mean, that year Georgia won it and they beat Ohio State. I think I was a little lucky because that last drive, Ohio State really –
they flubbed it. They give it away.
I think that's why – I think that drive right there at the end of that, that's why he wants to get rid of Ryan Day. One of the reasons.
Yeah. Well – yeah, but you got to see the overall from a macro view, not micro. I've got on this kick with macro and micro. I have no idea why I've got that in my head now. You know, looking at it from 30,000 feet, he has done a good job. There's some little things you can pick from, but my God, man, look, we're talking about Georgia. You know, keeping Kirby may not have come that next year or two. He may wind up coming on a little later on, but if Georgia – player don't slip and fall down on the sideline over there, they beat Bama. They beat Notre Dame. Georgia wins the national championship. That was in 17.
Oh, you talking about when they were coming down? They chose not to call timeout. And I'm sitting there the whole time. Time is rolling. I'm saying, timeout. We're begging for a timeout. And I'm not lying. When the guy called it and fell and the clock ran out, I literally just sat there and we turned the TV off. And we just all sat there looking at each other for 30 minutes. No lie. Like, what just happened?
That's just the luck, the bad luck or the good luck of the Alabama.
Yeah.
It's just the little things. And I guess all you can really do, and this is for life too. Thanks for tuning in to Life Talks with Big Matt and Benton Burge here. We're going to talk about life surges and the philosophy of how things. No, it's being prepared. And you do all those little things right, and when you're ready for that, when Kirby said it today, you got to be ready when the moment comes. Stockton come in the game last year, and he performed well because he was standing on ready.
Well, everybody knocks Stockton. His performance was this. His performance was that.
I like it.
He played two of the best defenses, two of the best secondaries in the entire country in those two games, Texas and Notre Dame. I
didn't have anything negative to say. I still don't have anything. I think he's going to win them. Probably win them a game that they're probably not supposed to win. Alabama coming over there, he's hard to handle, man. You better, that he'll be the difference in that game. I'll just say that Stockton, if he goes out there and rolls out and he's hitting, they'll beat Alabama. I think he's a difference maker.
You can say that about a lot of teams. If they're on, then they're going to win these games. I'm excited, as a football fan, as a Georgia fan, I'm excited to see what the receiving core and can we run the freaking football? What's the line? Is the line going to be nasty enough to move people a little bit to get a running back through the hole? I mean, we got to do better than what we've done. Those years we won titles, we're rushing for 150, 175 a game. You can't rush for 60 a game and expect to throw the ball 40 times like we did last year.
No, I just told you that stat. Justice Haynes, you're talking about him going to Michigan. Why did he bail on Bama? He had 450 yards rushing for the year. Why do you think he freaking left?
Yeah.
Because your quarterback couldn't – everything was a check down. Hot route closed, I'm running. Run the ball. And they blamed it on Sheridan. Sheridan's calling, pass plays probably too much because Womack's still figuring out the defense that first half of the season, and they played all those games close. I got a highlight tape that I made the other day of some highlight clips from like Georgia game, LSU. I put it on YouTube the other day, and y'all can watch it. It's just like 2 minutes long. It's just some highlights from games. Bama shouldn't have beat South Carolina. Bama probably shouldn't have beat Georgia. Bama shouldn't have lost to Vandy. They should not have lost to Oklahoma. There's just all those situations, and they caught a lot of blame for it. Now, on the Georgia side of that, I don't like Bobo. I don't. I like him about as much as I do Freeze. I just don't, man. I'm just not a fan.
Well, I can tell you this. In Athens, if it rains, they're going to blame Mike Bobo. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
get your umbrella, that damn Bobo, let it rain again. Get your umbrella, that son of a gun.
The latest thing is, with a Bobo at center, if it's a bad snap, then they're going to blame both Bobos now. And I'm not jumping on Bobo's case. Yes, there are some play calls that I question. Like I question the play call where we had the strip sack toward the end of the game against toward the end of the half against Notre Dame.
Yes. Oh, man, yeah.
Interesting play call there. But you never know. I mean, if we block somebody, maybe that guy isn't there and they hit a home run shot and we're up instead of giving up two scores back to back within 20 seconds, and really that play doesn't hurt you as bad as if you don't give up the kickoff return for a touchdown right after the half.
That
play is not as bad. It was a double whammy. I knew right then it's like, man, they better do something soon or it's there ain't no doing. And when Notre Dame got the ball back, it was just like, you're not stopping us. We're just going to run the quarterback. What are you going to do?
It is. And here's the thing, and from coaching and watching football and from talking about it and being around it and playing, and the thing with some of those plays when we question the coaches, and I do it. I'm I do it too. I'm raising my hand. Hey, right here. Here's something that I try to remind myself of. The good coaches, and Kirby's an elite coach, they're not coaching. They're not calling that play for that particular moment. The good ones, man, they're calling that play to set up something about 6 plays later.
Yeah.
And when it don't work, I've seen this in person. Like, being and watching a good coach. I ain't gonna say who. He's a high school coach. Good. He's a Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Fame coach. And I've seen him do it, and I know what he's doing. And when it don't work, he's as pissed about it as you are. He's like, because a lot of it is gambling, man. It is. It's just gambling, and sometimes you win on plays. And when you can set up a play or 2 or 3, and you can see them, man. I'm watching this coach, and I can see his demeanor how it's changing, and he's getting ahead. He's getting ahead. It's like, you're just gut shot, until you hit the boom, and then you're trying to make him think, well, does he think I'm going to throw it deep on this 3rd play, or am I going to run a draw out of it? It's cat and mouse. It's some coaches are playing chess and some are playing checkers. And the ones that are playing checkers, if you have a little bit of luck along with it too, bam. And when you got a good staff that makes your odds better, I mean, if you go into a casino with 3 good card counters, you're probably going to have a good night than rather being at it alone. Wouldn't you agree? And that's what Nick did with his staff, with Sark and Kiffin and Kirby. Those guys are elite, man. They're great at their jobs. And those plays right before the half and then after that kickoff return.
Yeah.
What do you do? They practiced it.
Why are you not – you have a good kicker. Why are you not just putting it out of the back of the end zone? You could do it every time. Why give him an opportunity? Yeah, Muschamp is no longer at Georgia. That's right. Jeff.
No, right. Yeah, he left.
Because Kirby said they asked him about Nick Saban coming back to coach.
Oh yeah. We didn't even brought that up, which I don't care to. I don't even have to talk about it. I'll just say right off the bat, that's just fool's gold. I think that Greg heard from his sources that institutions would be foolish not to make the phone call. It don't mean he said yes. Remember what he's saying. Greg said, this is where everybody misses it. I hate when we get half stuff. This modern times, they suck, man. People can't freaking read. They don't read the whole anything. They read one verse and they take the whole chapter and turn it upside down. Yeah. Greg said there's rumors from people, a reliable source, a coach, that Nick may get back into coaching. But I don't think that's true. This is exactly what he said.
Yeah, and it was fun.
And he didn't say as a head coach. He didn't say in the SEC. He didn't say none of that.
Yeah, Kirby, they asked him about it. One of the first questions they asked him was about Saban and how, basically how they reacted or interacted after his coaching career was done. He said he tried to hire Saban for Muschamp's old role, but he was overqualified.
Yeah, I've seen that. And Kirby's nice. He's going to – because he knows where his bread was buttered. He knows who give him – Nick showed him how to toast the bread and how to churn the milk to make butter, and he's super respectful, Nick. And him and Lane both said in a short sentence to compile it was like, he's the greatest to ever do it. The game's better when he's coaching. He's still sharp. He said, we still talk. Kirby said when he sets his best is sitting down in front of a computer and breaking down, defenses of how to stay ahead of an offense. Kirby said he's great at it. That's his niche, and he's still good at it. And Lane said the game's better when Nick is coaching. I don't see him coaching, but if he did, I brought this up last night. Comment section, share, please tell me what you think. One, who's going to be on the staff? And two, where the heck is he going to go?
He would not want to start over at this point. So he would have to go somewhere established. I don't know. I don't know where he could go.
But who's gonna? And that's kind of a dumb question. He can go wherever he wants, right, Burge?
I think so. Well, I mean there's a few places that he probably couldn't.
If he probably rolled up about anywhere. And then here's some rumors I heard. I heard Florida State.
Could happen. I mean, I could see that, but
I heard Texas Tech.
Oh no, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Now that's a building thing. So that's the thing. Does he want to go build a program? Because he didn't build Alabama. He rebooted Alabama. He just pulled the pacifier out of their mouth and got their heads back in the game. Took the ice cream machine out of the weight room and took the TVs out of the workout room. He just rebooted the program because it had been kind of off kilter for 10, 12 years. Does he want to go rebuild something? I tried to make sense of it last night. I tried to think it legitimately. I said, I'm going to stare right in this camera, and we're going to have a real conversation of Nick Saban coming back into football. Where's he going? Who's going to be? I mean, is Bill going to leave Carolina to go call defense for Saban? No. What? These guys are like freaking 70s. It's going to depend on what Miss Terry says. Somebody just needs to freaking call the Saban house and say, hey, Miss Terry, we've heard Nick may get back into coaching. We want the answer from the person who wears the breeches in the family. What's up?
No, is what he's going to say.
Because he had just kind of lost his drive to do it anymore because you couldn't, it's like Kirby said, it's hard to get on the players. And he lost some of his desire for the game. And she said, this was in an interview with I don't remember if it was Herb Street or it was one of it was Reese Davis. He did the one after he retired. And she said, Nick, you are the biggest component for your players about having that passion, that energy and drive for them to keep that, to stay motivated and don't be complacent. You're being complacent. And if you're being complacent, then hey, if that's what you're saying you're doing right now, then you need to get out of the way and let somebody else do it. And that's exactly what happened. Because he was going to retire before that season started. We learned later. When the season started, he come out that season and said, this is my last run. That's why Kirby told him at the SEC championship game, man, it's been a pleasure. I love you so much. It's going to be different without you. He was giving him goodbye then. And some people act like they didn't really know at that time. So where is he going to go? Is he going to rebuild something? Or is he going to go to an established program that – does he be Bobby Bowden and finish his time out at Florida State?
I don't know.
Who's this freaking staff? Who's going to go with him? All the guys that he had on his staff, most of them are all top echelon head coaches at all the big schools right now. Every big brand except Ohio State. They all either have a head coach that's from the tree or their assistant, or they got somebody from Nick Saban in the program. All the five big ones, Oregon, Texas, and Georgia. Who's he going to get to go? And what kind of money do you start talking about throwing out? Hey, Nick, can you come to Arkansas for just 2 years? We'll give you $40 million. He's got money. He's got money. He don't need nobody's money. ESPN pays him plenty. He's got Mercedes dealerships and Bama pays him.
He's got car dealerships. Tell me what his net worth is. Probably millions upon millions.
And I'll tell you this. Let me ask you this, because I hadn't asked nobody this. I thought about this today, thinking about this, writing some notes down when I got back. How bad would it hurt recruiting for Georgia and Alabama if Nick Saban comes back in the SEC somewhere and coaches? It would. Would it not?
Depending on, well, initially maybe, depending on where he went and if he can be successful.
But you know he can get the kids to come. They'll come play for him. And it's important, too, to know who his staff's going to be. Because I think that was – you can tell he was ready to go because that last year, dude, he hires Kevin Steele. Kevin Steele's like 90. He's up there on a freaking walker coming up the steps calling. He's still got to – you know, he is what he is. He's been around everywhere. And Kevin's a great defensive coach. He was cleaning out house because me and you talked about it. Who coached at Alabama those last 3 years he was there? They wasn't nobody there. You go up there in the dang office and like there's 3 or 4 doors empty. There ain't nobody even up there. He had people running around everywhere doing all kind of stuff all the time. And it was just it had slowly deteriorated away because he lost them every year. They're losing players, losing coaches. And in the market now you can have a GM, and maybe he's thinking, I'm trying to make sense of it, Burge. I'm trying to talk myself into some idea in some world that Nick Saban wants to coach football again.
I don't think you have to worry about it. I think he's getting enough football right where he's at.
Well, he said that he's happy because he's still part of a team.
Yeah.
Jeff's wanting him to come to Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's going to Ohio State. I could see him go to Florida State before he come back and went to.
Now, he did coach a lot of football up north.
Yeah, well, Michigan State.
He was at Syracuse. I read his book, bro. He's been all over it. Miss Terry liked Syracuse because she liked the other coaches' wives and stuff, and she liked that area of New York where they were at. That was one of in his book. He says, kind of, man, I wished I would have, kind of, sort of, should have, would have, could have. But he wound up leaving there and going to, I think he went to West Virginia and coached D-backs or something. I mean, he's been everywhere. He's been in a lot of places. I think he's been at 16 different schools. I think that's right. Just at some type of position, if it was just whatever it was from Kent State on. But here's the other one that threw out there, and I'll throw this one out there on the Wolfpack for you. DeBall is at the Giants, right?
Yeah.
There's a rumor that he's probably getting canned pretty soon, and what do you want to throw that back in the ring to go to the NFL?
I think he's had enough of that.
Because it's not much different than college now. Is it?
No, probably a little more constructive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It seems like now how Nick is, there would be more, like you said, there's more boxes and guidelines and guardrails that he tried and begged and pleaded to put up before they started doing this. 7-8 years ago, he begged them to do it, and they didn't. Well, now the NFL is that. So he's like, well, heck, like we just talked about earlier, you don't hear about guys getting bought off. I heard the Falcons offered Smith over $500,000 to go up there to come to play down at the Jaguars. No, that don't happen. Well, it's because contracts.
And and he was asking the NCAA to do something that they had no idea what they were freaking.
They ain't never done nothing right.
They didn't even have the power to do it, really. Well, who was going to listen to them? They're just going to take them to court and go on about the business.
That whole crap show they did at Tennessee with the plane, and they flew in Nico, and they was going to put them on, suspension, and because they did it after they had changed the rules, it come out that they did it. They were going to put Tennessee on probation for something they did after the rule changed, but they were going to punish them because they did it before the rule changed. But nobody had knew about it, that was fixing to happen. They had to bring up, you remember this? They had to bring up like the state's attorney from Tennessee and hype on these guys had to like go to court. And the president, the lady over Tennessee, it was a big stink, man. It was in the news and stuff. Like she pretty much said, we'll sue you for everything you're worth. You can't, that's like, they call it something. It's not double jeopardy, but you can't go back and, fine somebody for something they did. The rules change now. It's legal to do what we've done, but we did it the week before, and under, they just put him on a plane. They didn't even pay him or nothing. They just flew him out there or something. It's something so silly, man. They're so terrible. At least the NFL does have some kind of structure. Does he take a offense? Does he take a defensive coaching job somewhere?
No, I don't see him. I don't see him coming back. I mean, he's included enough to, like you said, to be happy, and he's got plenty of money. There's no need. He don't want to move. I mean, he loves. I mean, they love where they're at now. I mean, got the house on the lake. I'm sure multiple houses, but net worth to, $70 million. I think he's $70 million.
Is that his net worth now?
Well, that's what they say.
I bet it's more than that.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna pop one thing in about local football, and there's some positive news about Auburn.
Okay.
Right now, On 3 has Auburn leading for Caden Fife out of Chattooga, a 4-star defensive tackle. Said he's recently stated that Auburn's high up there right now on his list. Also up on the list, obviously Alabama. It's also got offers from, Georgia and Michigan, and he's literally been to Texas. He might end up being, I don't know. We'll see how his junior year goes, but I could see him jumping to a 5-star if he fills out a little more. I mean, right now 6'5", 310, something like that. As a sophomore going into his junior year, and excited to see him. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I grew up. If you're just flipping by the page and stuff, his parents are from the area over here where I went to school at Cedar Bluff. We're part of northeast Alabama up here in Cherokee County. And I know his parents, his God rest his soul, his uncle. Golly, he was good. Whew. Bro, he could roll. I mean, that boy could run it, kick it. His daddy's good too. His mom, they're all good people. His papa was a great big old guy. I don't care where he goes. I'll cheer for him if he goes to Auburn or Georgia, wherever. I think it will be. You talking about it, generational type stuff for a family, handled correctly.
Yeah,
this could change his life and his kid's life. It could change their family in such a huge dynamic because he'll pick up a little cash. I mean, he'll pick up, like you said, I'd be 10, 20 grand a month. They'll, and if he's 4 or 5-star, he may be a 50 grand a month kind of guy. It could change his life.
Hopefully he understands the severity of every move that he's making.
Every move, because they're watching.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's watching, and a lot of people are jealous. People are jealous of what we do. There's people that just absolutely won't prop us up and put us on. I'm not me and you, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
jealous.
They're
so freaking jealous, man. And there's people, kids, and other parents are jealous of him. So he's got to be really careful, and we love him so much and his family. And I'll super be praying for him that God blesses his decision and carries him through college, and just it'll make a difference, in his whole family's life.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying there. We've got a lot of people behind the scenes that don't make a lot of camera view that do stats and graphics and all kind of things. I mean, and bigger companies that have paid, payrolls. Northwest Georgia football is not a paid spot. It is a volunteer spot. And that's the way we like it because we want to put the kid's name out there. But, when paid programs rob our graphics and they rob our things and they don't even credit us. I mean, even if they would credit us, we would be fine to let them use it or,
Yeah, just ask.
But I mean, you don't even have to ask. Just put our logo or right that it came from us or something. Tag us in it, something. And I think we're eventually might have to start trying to crack down on some of these people that are just copying stuff.
Well, I run into that probably when you start getting negative kickback from people. That's when you know you're making it. Probably year 2 or 3 is when I started getting some negative from parents from not really even this county, just outside the county. And you get yeah from people. And Todd, he don't like it. I can handle it, I just take care of. And they're going to gripe. And I said, look, we're making it. And that's part of it. So when that starts happening, and then you see these people that have legitimate stuff that they do. Old people that's been around doing it a long time, they're using these images and stuff. I set up on this computer when I was into high school stuff heavy. Dude, I'd set up all night making these graphics and stuff. And I would see them over there. And the first time I seen it, I called a buddy of ours, Average Joe, shout out Starkey. And I'm like, look, man, you've been doing this longer than me. What's up with this? What would you do? I didn't want to be the new guy on the, corner and just going right out and stepping on some big dog's feet. And we talked about it a little, and I just went straight to the other person that did this and said, hey, that's not going to happen again. Oh, I didn't mean anything. And they always apologize. So it's just so much jealousy. And shout out to Average Joe's. They do a great job. And me and Bo, we share stuff. Our sharing has got to where they had a point during the season. Sometimes we get so busy. He's got open permission I got some good picks of some players that he's going to use and throw up on there when he's talking about them. He don't even have to ask.
Yeah.
And same with me. If I find a picture, hey, I need a picture of so-and-so, he's our player of the week, and I wasn't at the game, I need I didn't have a real good action shot. And he's always got great camera stuff. We don't even ask. We just, and I love that about our relationship with how we could, kind of mix and mingle with stuff. But bro, and being close to him and hearing his stories and stuff he has went through with their show, good Lord, man, there's a lot of jealousy out there, and I hate that. And Caden better be careful. And I can't wait to talk to him soon. And because man, we're trying to change his life. And I don't care if he goes to Auburn. I could sit here and say Auburn ain't had a winning season in 5 years. Well, they hadn't. But if that's where he wants to go and he feels comfortable down there, and that's where he can get his family to come see him play, then by God, do it. I ain't gonna wear an Auburn hat.
I hear you.
But I will cheer for him, and I'll number whatever he is, 71 at Auburn. That's what he, bam. I may get me a shirt made with him on it. He's got offers from all over the place, and he's matured and got so much better just last year. And I first saw him over here at Cherokee County in the weight room. Holy crap. I walk in, he's just he's a head taller than a lot of the guys in there. He's back there in the corner because he's like a freshman or 8th grader. And I asked about him, and they're like, oh, yeah, he's young. And he went up over to Cedar Bluff for a while. He growed some there. And I remember Johnny, Coach Amison, working with him in basketball and we're talking about his footwork and, getting better. And he's just – and I was walking with him at the Fall Fest, and, people come up and they want to talk to him. He's just so big. And his face, just he's a kid, man. And he don't even shave. He made now because he's got a little older. And he's like, yes, ma'am, I'm 15. And they're like, well, 15? You look 25. I mean, he's big like his pawpaw, man. I hope it works out for him, man. It would be, because we don't have a lot of I mean, how many guys out of right there around y'all's county has, went on and played D1? How many? There's some, I know.
Well, the running back from last year, he's at Murray State. So he's a
Mouse's boy.
Yeah.
Jermaine's boy.
You had Foster, one of the Foster twins that went to Kennesaw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, the one that probably made it the furthest recently, Sonoris Prairie, he played like 6 or 7 years in the league, went to Louisville, and then played for the Bears and the Dolphins.
Oh, yeah. Years. Todd had some stories about him. I think he had him somewhere along the way.
Yeah. He was teaching when Todd was at high school over there, and
he said he was freaking good. He said he was good at everything.
I've never seen speed like that until I saw him. I mean, this dude, they hand timed at 4.23 at Florida Friday Night Lights camp, and they were like, that can't be right. So he went. They asked him. He jogged back up and ran it again right after, and ran like 4.26 or something like that. Not far off. So he was a 4.3 guy for sure.
Yeah, there's a difference when you see those guys run. You can tell. So I hope it works out for him. And who?
He's now at Wofford. He's the running back coach at Wofford.
Wofford. Oh yeah, that's the Puppy Dogs. Jacksonville plays them. I remember us playing them. My senior year at Jacksonville.
Terriers.
I remember them coming.
Yeah,
their logo was freaking cool as hell.
Yeah, to go along with Caden, man, there's another kid. I don't know. I don't think he's got a star rating because he's not played a whole lot of football, about a year and a half, 2 years of football, but 6'7", about 290, something like that, 300, thick too, man.
Bring this picture up here.
Yeah. The Terriers.
Is that not cool? I love their logo, man. I do. I like their logo. Where is he from? That's the other guy.
You talking about the other guy I'm talking about? He's from Somerville. He went to Menlo, actually. Big tall guy. He plays center on the football on the basketball team, and then plays D line. So you want to run it the opposite way. I think what they have planned this year is you're going to have to identify where those guys are, because those guys could be at end, they could be a tackle, they could be split apart, they could be both on one side. I think the defensive scheme is going to be built around where can we line these guys up and how can we create mismatches. Because all too often last year they would say, all right, Caden's on the right side of the defensive line, we're running to the left. And, and almost take him out of the play just immediately,
If you get another guy, like on the other side, it's can match him over there. Shoot.
Well, I mean, the other D lineman that plays in the middle is, he's 6'2", 270. So our line of scrimmage is going to be as big and as strong as it's been, and we're going to see how the skill does. That's the negative right now is a lot of skill replacing like 95% of the offense and defensive skill. Yeah.
Where I seen y'all the other night? I watched some of y'all, Lawrence and the other guy. Where'd y'all have Chattooga at on the final? Kind of like a ranking.
Really mixed in the 4, 5, 6 spot between them, Coosa, Dade County, probably whoever comes out of those three. Coosa is going to be much improved. They got a quarterback that can sling it and two very capable receivers that are 6 foot that can run. So line of scrimmage is the question for Coosa, and it's kind of the opposite. Chattooga doesn't have the skill, but the line of scrimmage is. They're going to have to make 3 yards look good. Let's say that.
I'm looking for this crap. What did I do with it? Well, anyway, Turkey County played a 7-on-7. Gosh darn it! They went. I think they went Thursday last week, and I can't remember where they went. They're in the same region with who's the team with the new coach, and they were in the. They didn't win a bunch of games last year, and they're in there with Darlington and was it Harrison County? They went to.
They did have a new coach. Did they go down? Did they go down there? I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, they had some kind of camp. It was on a Thursday, and I remember Heard County was leading that. I remember looking at that region. I think Heard County was head of the region.
Yeah, they won that region last year, and I think they're favored to win it again.
It's that region with Darlington and them.
Okay,
so it was Harrelson County. Coach Sawchuk, is that right?
Let's see here. I got it on speed dial. So down there in Tallapoosa, let's see, head coach.
Seemed like it was Sawchuk. No, it's something. That's the running back from. That was the running back from.
This looks like an old. They don't even have the staff updated on here. But anyway,
yeah, they went down there and played. Who is their coach?
Let's see, Harrelson County football coach.
I nearly said it again.
Randy Crutchfield.
Crutchfield. See, I knew Sawchuk, Crutchfield. They sound alike, don't they? No, they don't.
I can go along with it.
That's something to try to get out there and. Well, you're just trying to get your players to see some different people, and summer prepping is as important as anything. I mean, it's just not all lifting weights. You're getting your staff together, you're getting workouts and all that, schedules and stuff, and you got camps and you got to have bonding stuff. You have the guys over to the house and cook and pool parties and try to gel the team together. Been out there the other day and watching them practice. They're going to be a really athletic football team. You're going to see a little different football team this year. They can move around fast. These guys have all played football. I'm excited to see, come out. They got Piedmont at Piedmont. So that's going to be a game to beat because Piedmont's going to be good. Coach Miller's done a good job over there. And I'm excited to see that game.
When do y'all start up in Alabama? When y'all start up?
August.
Y'all don't have fall scrimmages, do you?
I think they stopped. Yeah, they've kind of followed Georgia.
But Georgia's back in now. They allow you one spring scrimmage and one fall scrimmage, or two fall scrimmages if you want.
August the 22nd, Burge.
We right now
they're going to have Fayetteville and Sylvania will be at Cedar Bluff the 15th of August, and the 22nd they'll open at home with Valley Head. So the 22nd looks like when everybody's Gales will be at Donahoe, and 22nd.
Check this out. Me and Lawrence plan on seeing a preseason scrimmage between Bremen and Rockmart down in Bremen. August the 1st is when preseason scrimmage starts. Yes, sir. August 1.
Pierce County is hosting the 22nd. They're hosting Coosa Christian. And
then that next week, the 8th, I think it is, that's when everybody pretty much kicks off their fall scrimmages. Chautauqua will be at home on August the 8th against Sonoraville.
Sandrock Spring Garden. That's gonna be another good game this year. I've seen Sandrock practice a little. I got to go catch up with Spring Garden this week. Go out there and visit with them. And Sandrock looked good. Alec Ashley, little brother of Ace, that tied school records and his little brother now is a QB, and at practice he was dropping dimes. Coach Nelson came over from Sylvania. He coached under the tree up with Willingham at Collinsville for a while. He's from up there. Just really kind of cut the playbook in half kind of thing, coming in as a new coach, not trying to force feed stuff right off the bat. They're going to throw the ball around a little bit. I mean, they were throwing Alec was looked good to me, man. He was throwing the ball. And the Griffin boy out at Cherokee County, Adam, he's just going to grow more and get bigger and taller. They're going to be a different problem this year. Yeah, they'll be a little athletic on defense, run around. But, man, 4A football over here, that's kind of how it is. Anniston, and you're trying to match teams like Jackson's going to be in it again because Crowell, he did classify, so he'll play this year and he'll graduate. And Duckworth's supposed to be maybe going to South Carolina, we think, quarterback in Jackson. So what I'm saying is those teams, those days of it seems to me, you tell me how it is there, it seemed to me that these big schools, when you have like Grayson's and Bufords, they throw the ball and stuff and they have fast guys everywhere. But it seems like it's even bled down to the, 3A stuff, even in Georgia, which 3A Georgia is as big as like Gaston City's 6As and stuff over here. Seems speed is starting to creep down the ladder. Because before, even 4A over here, especially 1 and 2A, you know how 1 and 2A football is over here, dude. It's 3 yards in a cloud of dust usually, pistol to even some of them still under center. But speed is where the game is kind of going. And with Cherokee County being able to throw the ball more, to have a whole different playbook for Coach Kelly, and their backfield is going to be good. That Anniston, Alexandria, and them, it's going to be it'll be a good region matchups, and I think they have all those games like back to week to week to week, like 3 in a row, like Anniston, Alexandria, Hoax Bluff in October. So by then we're going to find out. Is it kind of that way there? Does it seem that from what you're seeing now, and even towards last year, does it seem that high school football the smaller schools have picked up speed over the girthy 220, pound linebacker got stuck in people, in the one gap? Is that kind of different now?
Well, the 220-pound linebacker may be playing on the defensive line. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, if you do have the speed, that's where you get the huge advantage. Like in Chattooga's region, majority of the skill is coming back for Gordon Lee, and that's pretty much who everybody. I won't say the consensus, but on Northwest Georgia football, we pretty much are picking, Gordon Lee to win that region because they have receivers coming back, they have tight end coming back, they have running back coming back, they have quarterback coming back, and they have, all the skill, and they look to have a better line of scrimmage than what we thought. So it's going to be very interesting. I do see one fall jamboree. Valley Head is hosting a fall jamboree on August 15th. It looks like they're going to host Cooster Christian, Sandrock, and St. John Paul II on the 15th of August.
Yeah, after Valley Head.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Coach Hammond, shout out to Boog up there. Great guy. Yeah. Really enjoy. Have you ever met him? You probably never met him, have you?
Man. He spent a lot
of time.
Have.
That's right. You and Aaron, y'all tied up there. So you've been up there. Yeah, that's right. Where the heck is Aaron? Where's he at? What? He ain't been on here in 2 weeks. I'm going to get on him. What the heck's going on?
He did comment last week when I was on because he made a comment about me being lost down in Atlanta, taking my back.
But, yeah, so you've met Coach Hammond. He's just regular old, just, he's fun to talk to. Him and Ernie. I mean, I love all the coaches we've had on. We've had them all on to call in, and we'll have them on again through the season. He's one of my favorites. Him and Ernie are fun to get on. Ernie, Coach Willingham, over at Collinsville there.
Yeah. Hammond's a great dude.
Hilarious.
The guy at Dade County, Coach Poston. I don't know if you've ever met him. Great dude. I love Coach Poston. He's funny, boy. There's a little text thread we have, me and Lawrence and Poston, and you never know what you're going to get from him, you know.
Yeah, you got to have some. Lane Kiffin said he was fixing to leave, and Feinbaum had an open seat up there on the thing. Did you see this?
Yeah, I seen part of it.
He just kind of went up there and sat down. They didn't talk really any much football at all. They were just kind of shooting the breeze and kind of yakking at each other. And Lane said you don't have to walk around like with a stick up your butt all the time. I mean, like football is serious, and I'm serious about my job. But he'd asked him what brought it up was about him and Freeze going back and forth about the fishing and the golf, and he's like, man, our families have known each other forever. We don't not like each other. You kidding me? Like Freeze. Well, Lane's dad, Monty, is such a huge role in football in general. Everybody loves him, man. So he's like, you got to be able to have some fun. You got to be able to yak up, a little bit and be serious when it's time to be serious. You don't have to be so. And if people talk to Coach Benefield at 5, you just see that guy with the glasses on the nose, and he's just locked in. Now, you're not going to come up to him on the sideline there. Now, of course, not anybody was going to do that. But I've talked to him on the field before games, spoke to him in the locker room a time or two. He's from up there, man. He's just a regular old mountain guy. He likes his Sunday school stuff. He likes crime mystery shows. He loves high school basketball. I mean, look, I got a picture of him and Ernie that they were on the field talking. I said, I've got to get a picture of you two guys. I mean, y'all may die tomorrow. And they both busted out like. So I said, yeah. And so I got them laughing. It got them smiling. I got a picture of them real quick, and I put it out there, sent it to Coach Benefield, sent it to his wife and stuff, and said, hey, this is something I want to do for them. Those two old guys are. They've shaped a lot of kids, futures, and not football, just being men and just being able to get up and keep trucking when things are hard. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how Valley Head. I share their stuff. I talked to I have Jody on here, the Hogan, and he'll send me some stuff. And anybody watching around the area, y'all can send me stuff, and I'm going to repost it. 100% I'm going to repost anything for kids that's showing off them working out and stuff. I love that kind of stuff. Send it to me. And we got the side notes page, locker room notes. That's what that's for. I made that page for community football. I don't care if you're from Georgia. You're watching over there from Georgia and your kid's doing something, brag on them. Shit, man. Mine's 22. I just talked to him a minute ago, and he's, getting off work, and he's going to the gym now, working out stuff. We're always going to, brag on your kids, so y'all be glad to share that over here on Locker Room Notes. And I'm always glad to prop up any kids because it goes away soon, and it's all gone, man. And it'll be there. And football season is coming pretty soon here. You just said the 15th.
August 1st.
The 1st?
Yeah, the scrimmage games start August 1st.
That's 2 weeks.
Rockmart at Bremen on August 1st.
Bremen, Georgia. Georgia.
Yes, sir. It ain't very far from me, I don't think. It's right across the line.
Bremen. Oh, wait a minute. That's like going on up past, like going to Lake Winnie. Not going that, but it's that direction.
No, it's south of.
Oh, okay, my bad.
It's down there. You ever been to Bowden?
No, I'm thinking about Brainerd, like the racetrack up that way. Never mind.
Okay, that's up in Tennessee. Yeah.
Other way, I thought it was going that way.
No, I'll let me give you a.
Was it like an hour south of Rome or Cartersville or?
Let's see here. I'm trying to get a good. You know where? Like Cleburne or Heflin.
Yeah, Claiborne. Yeah, Heflin. Yeah.
If you go east on 20, you can get off.
Oh, okay.
And right there at 27, it's right off of 27, not too far.
Centertown on US 27, north of Carrollton. Okay.
Yeah, it's north. It's
Oh.
in between Rockmart and Carrollton. Yep. No, that's a lie. It's in between Rockmart and Bowden. It's down there near like Bowden, Mount Zion, Carrollton, down in that area.
Now, how is, speaking of Carrollton, now, they're without Juju. He's at Colorado. He's flying with the Sanders out there.
Yeah.
How's Carrollton? What's their MO for the year? Who's their guy?
Carrollton's going to be loaded again. Don't think that they won't be.
It's over, washed up.
Nah, I don't know if it's over, but it's going to be. It'll be tough to beat them again. See, I'm trying to think of that.
And what A are they? 6?
Yeah, that's the largest classification in Georgia. They are.
All right.
Yeah, and let's see here.
They got they got 7,000-8,000 students over there.
I don't think it's quite that many, but but it's up there. I'm trying to think of what their enrollment is.
I know there was one place we were talking about. They had I don't remember where it was. It's somewhere in South Georgia. They had 2 lunchrooms. They had like one downstairs and one up because there's no way, to have lunch. They tried to alternate their kids and they still couldn't get them all in the lunchroom, even alternating them.
Carrollton, in the last count, they had 1,825.
Now that's 10th, 11th, 12th, right?
9, 10, 11, 12.
9, 10, yeah. And they'll dress, 60, 70?
Shoot, they're gonna put 100. They're gonna put 100. Yeah, they'll put 100 out there. They'll have double numbers. They'll have
What is some crossover games? That's what we need to do. We need to look into that and do that. We need to do an Alabama Georgia State battle of like Oxford or Moody's got to be Carroll.
Let's see here.
Gainesville, Georgia. I know Gainesville, Coach Nibbett, they usually play somebody over here. We need to do a whole little spot on that sometime.
Let me see if I could find some.
Like somebody would put together a page or make an image. If I can get them all down, I will. Those we used to have Cedartown would come over here and play Piedmont, or Rockmart would come over and play, and that's really fun to. But they usually wind up down south somewhere. Like I know Moody. I think Moody played Gainesville. I think Jackson is playing. There's a few of them on there that's going to match up cross. That's going to cross match up.
So I'm looking for any of those that say Alabama on there. A lot of times when it's Alabama school, it has it in like quotations. AL.
I have a 10th grade quarterback at Carrollton.
Yeah.
I wonder, I think, was it Moody or, let's see, who was Moody or, let's see. No, that's Auburn's. I got Auburn High School schedule.
I'm looking through. I'm trying to find anything that would be a crossover game. I'm looking at week 1 right
now. Schedule. No, Jackson plays Sarah. They play Saraland. Holy crap! That'll be a goddamn blower of a game. That'll be great. It'll be good.
Do not see any right off the rip. Week 1. It'd have to be in the first couple of weeks because region play start not too long after that.
Let's see if St. Michael's is playing anybody. Week 1, St. Michael's. Jackson's playing Saraland. That's not base. God dang, St. Michael's playing Bayside Academy. Wow. Orange Beach, maybe? Are they doing some kind of Orange Beach is playing Alberta? No. Trying to find some of these bigger See if Mobile Christian maybe they got Chickasaw week 1. Let's see about Moody.
Let's see. Gainesville will host Moody.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Gainesville and Moody. Thompson, Alabama plays Grayson. Oof.
Oh God.
Hillcrest plays Hoover. Central Carroll plays Oxford. Central Carroll has running back that is a stud.
Is that on a website somebody's put together the games, or what is that?
Actually, I just see it. I googled it, and that's the ones that's coming up. I'll send it over to you. Coosa, Alabama versus Pierce County, Georgia. I don't know if that's Coosa Christian or what, but
yes, it is. It's Coosa at Gadsden. Yeah.
Here we go. 2015 or 2025 interstate high school football games. It's got all the interstate games. So I'll pull the Georgia versus Alabama games and I'll send them to you. I'd like to see, just for fun, let me go to Massey right quick.
Games on Moody's. That'll. Though I've seen Moody play. Wow, holy crap! They got some big time players.
Gainesville does too. I don't know where that game will be, but that will be a slobber knocker.
I think they're going to Gainesville.
That's a trip.
Yeah, that will be a. Here's another one team I like to keep an eye on starting last year. Mary G. Montgomery. You probably never heard of them.
No, I don't think so.
Dude, I watched them on. They got a guy that records their games and puts it on YouTube.
Yeah,
they got some freaking dogs. They got some. I mean, just fast. They're playing pace. They're going to open with pace. And Pace is in Florida. They're opening with a big team big school out of Florida. And I'm pretty sure I remember covering them some last year. Come on, you piece of junk.
Central Carroll has Oxford. That will be interesting.
Well, it's just not going to give me the.
That says this reads out Oxford 34, Central Carroll 27 is what the prediction is there.
Oxford beating Carrollton.
Central Carrollton.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Yeah, see, Mary G went undefeated in their Region 7A, Region 1, which consists of Baker, Daphne, Fairhope, all that down there in Mobile where Julio played,
Mm-hmm.
They went out in their region and went to looks like Vestavia beat them first round, 42-21.
Yeah, Jonas Walton is the running back at Central Carroll. He's verbal commit to Notre Dame. Number 29 player in the state, 199 nationally, and number 7 running back.
Here's one right here. Foley opens up with Baldwin County. That'll be a wow. Now they're down there at Bay Minette, but there's some good matchups. Yeah, we need to get together on that sometime and do go through those games and maybe do a Massey pick on it. And
yeah, well, I mean, that would be an interesting segment, especially,
Yeah, because
some of the teams.
We don't, we're just kind of guessing, and Massey's got a better guess than we do. Some of these teams we've never seen play live, in person.
Yeah, true.
Jeff says this kid he's as good as Juju. Who is he, Jeff? Let's see who's the QB at.
And there are a lot of games.
Well, they just keep saying Juju. I don't know.
I'll tell you what,
Keep saying Juju.
I seen a special on the new kid. Hold on.
God, he was born in 07. He's just a baby.
Mason Holtzclaw.
Well,
6'4", 6'4", 205 pounds.
They're going to open with Woodward Academy.
Holtzclaw is holding offers from Wake Forest, North Carolina, Kentucky, Florida State, South Carolina, Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, South Florida, Appalachian State, UL Monroe, a bunch. And junior year.
What's this? I'm trying to see. What's his name?
His name is Mason Holtzclaw. He looks like he's got pretty good feet, and he's a decent-sized human being. 6'4", 205.
Can't freaking find him on there. They don't have him on the roster.
No. I found him on the old Twitterverse.
Yeah. Let's see here. Mason Holtzclaw.
Find him?
Yep.
Should be a video of him doing.
Crap. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Shows him as a 3-star. Shows him as high on South Carolina. Georgia Tech and VTech's got offers.
It looks like he's got a good arm.
So they're just going to reload and rebuild. Well, I mean, you know, this NILC, it's going to make everything more fair, you know, for all the small schools, you know, like Coosa, Georgia, and Elmerchie and all them. You know, I mean, it's going to give everybody a chance, Burge, to, you know, try to come on in and you know, get it done and have an opportunity to really play football. And
we live in the real world. We know better.
This is him, by the way, over here on the. He should be it's in the blue there. Wow, that's a nice out. He threw him open. I mean, he threw it where he had to be. Now, who are they playing here? Because you know these teams use it by color sometimes.
Let's see here. I have no idea.
It says the Warriors in the middle of the field, looks like.
Warriors.
Roll out pass, stop, set your feet over. Wow. Where the heck's that at? Has Carrollton got a track around there? Is that Carrollton?
That is not Carrollton there. That's
yeah,
at
where the heck is that?
That's at Jefferson High School.
Jefferson.
Yeah, the Dragons of Jefferson. Is it what? Did this kid transfer in? Because the jersey he's wearing now is not.
Blue's not Carrollton.
No, absolutely not.
Well, who is this on there? You can see the tent down there, and I don't know if that's their.
It looks like logo. A pigeon. Let's see.
I wonder where the heck he's from then. There's a who is that? Well, they're wearing white, so they're not at home. So that's not that dark blue is where he's from. Must have been his freshman year.
I can tell you this: he is originally from what it says on here from Piedmont, South Carolina.
Whoa.
Hometown. Now it says Carrollton, Georgia on there, but it said.
Well, see this, college collective. I mean, high school collective is going to make it more fair for the smaller schools to get kids to move from South Carolina.
You go,
because everybody can
get. This is from the Asheville Times. Says Christ School quarterback Mason Holtzclaw reclassifying, transferring to Carrollton in Georgia.
So he's going to be the junior this year coming in. He's going to reclassify.
It says Christ School quarterback Mason Holtzclaw transferring to Carrollton High School in Georgia and reclassifying to the class of 2026. Holtzclaw is from Piedmont, South Carolina, pulled in over a dozen D1 offers.
So this will – damn, wait a minute now. And so that means he's playing his – well, if he's going to graduate in 26, this is his senior year.
This is it, yeah. So he's reclassified. He's going to come out early, a year early.
How do you do that? I couldn't even get it done in a normal 12 years time. I don't.
I hear you.
How's that work, Birds? Tell me. I was lucky to even my 10th, 11th grade year. I was lucky to even show up to school half the time. My senior year, I had to buckle on in. I had to get out of there. His father has a job. Let's see. Oh,
his father didn't get a job, did he?
At Southwire?
I don't know. That's normally how it works. Oh, they moved because they had a job open.
No, of course. Yeah. Well, we had to move. And I mean, now we just happened to wind up at Carrollton. I mean, because this NIL stuff, it's going to make it fair for everybody. Is everybody listening in the back over there? It's going to even it out. I don't think nobody's listening. No, it don't. The ones that have do, and the ones that do will.
Right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, who else is going to – and you get – I mean, these small schools around here like Cedar Bluff, Gainesville, Spring Garden, just run the mill. Are they going to get some stud 4-star move in from, South Georgia? Paulding County's quarterback's leaving. He's headed to Cedar Bluff. He's gonna go to a tiny school up here. That NIL stuff is not helping.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. We don't have anybody that's collecting any kind of NIL. I can tell you that. Well, that I know of. There may be now. I never know.
Well, his daddy got a job down there at Southwire. You hear about that, Randy?
Hey,
his boy wasn't transferring for football. His daddy got a job. Oh, okay. Oh.
Do you know who Westbrook Christian is? Are you familiar with them?
Yeah.
They are.
That's Steve Smith's bunch from Piedmont, won all the championships. That's where he's at now. He's in Gadsden over there on the other side of town.
It looks like October 10th. They are at Trine.
Really?
Yep.
Well, Steve knows everybody. I mean,
be interesting.
Trine
has been really good, but they lost a lot. I would say they'll still be decent.
They don't. Oh, there it is. October the 10th. Now they're going to play. Oh my God! Why? Why are you opening with Gordon Lee?
Oh yeah, trying. Well, they have to because used to it was like the end of the season or whatnot, but they're not in the same region anymore. So
Manchester.
Their region sucks, man. It's tough. Bowden.
Why? What? Change regions. Pick the school up, move it down the road somewhere.
Well, they had options. Let me tell you this: they had options to play in the region that Chattanooga's in, but they didn't want to do that because of the size of schools. I mean, they wanted to play against competition that was the size school that they have. So,
well, by God, they are doing that. Coach Patrick's he still there?
He is.
Well, Coach Patrick, you got a pair on you, brother. I'm going to tip my hat to you. He's scared. I ain't scared. We'll play them. Bowden, hell with them. Manchester, hey, freaking slide up, son, here around here about 7 o'clock. See if we don't split your freaking helmet, son. I don't give a shit what's going on. We don't mess around here trying.
They'll try.
Man, that is a tough region.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about, okay, the region champ was Manchester. The state title 3 years in a row, Bowden. And Trine's having a battle with both of them.
And Trine went 10-3 last year, but 2-2 in their region. Yeah. And finished third. Because I watched Manchester play. They made a run at it. Did they win it last year?
They're about to do it again.
Manchester went all the way to the third round and lost to Brooks County. They beat Wilcox and Lincoln.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Overtime.
I was going to finish there again at third in the region.
Manchester, trying.
Yeah.
What's oh shit, hang on. Telemarketers at the door. Manchester. I'm curious about Manchester now. Harris County. It ain't too bad. What about Mount Zion?
I actually was reading a thing earlier saying that Mount Zion's stud receiver has not been present in OTAs, and it was not a very good response to the question that the head coach gave. So I don't know what is going on there.
Mount Zion didn't win a region game last year.
Yeah, they actually they lost to Chattanooga last year too.
Bless their heart, man. Struggling. That's tough. 45-20 to Chattanooga. I thought that said they beat Benedictine 34-0. I was like, no, they didn't beat. There's no way. Now, I ain't no Georgia football expert like Bird's here, but I know the names when I see them. When I see Benedictine, I run across them at a championship game watching NFHS or something on high school football. Somehow I accidentally found them playing a semi game. Holy God, man, they got men out there. I mean, they look like their offensive line looked like Alabama that year. This was probably like 2017 or 18. So I messaged Todd and I said, who the H is Benedictine? He said, oh, that's that private Army school or something. They got freaking dudes walking the halls down there. Not a big school. It's a boys' school, right? It's kind of prep school.
Yeah.
Benedictine.
Studs.
Let's get off here and go eat a bean.
Yeah, I just sent you that list of out-of-state games.
Let's see. All right, let's see here. Oh, okay. Oh, somebody did put this together.
Yeah, for sure.
That's Tennessee and
It's all the out of state games.
Mount Zion. Yeah, I could look through this for a while. Okay.
All right, brother. I'm gonna hop off. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, glad you got to jump on here and we can chew the fat. SEC Media Day 3 tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a good day too. I'll be back on. We'll talk about Bama and stuff tomorrow, probably about 6 or 7 o'clock or something. So we'll catch y'all around this time. So tomorrow night, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Find B Birds over there on his Twitter page. Like it, comment on it, subscribe it. Go there to YouTube. They need some YouTube love over there. You gotta go over and just go like some of their videos. Go over and find them over there. Y'all got a big group on Twitter.
Yeah.
Y'all have thousands of people on Twitter, but YouTube's not. YouTube's hard, man. People's like, well, I've been over at your YouTube page. He only had 550 subscribers. I said, well, go get your YouTube page then, smart ass, and see. You give it a shot since you know it's hard.
It is hard. It is hard because nobody wants to take the time to sign up and click on it. You know what I mean? It's hard. I mean, right now on Twitter, like you said, we have a good follow. I mean, we've got 35K that follow us right now on Twitter. Not to mention my part of it. You freeze up on me?